Greetings, everyone. We are from Group 5. We will be reviewing about a play named A Doll's House. Next. For the members of our groups, there are Bima, Satria, Naufal, Prahananda, Veronica, Augie, Nathania, Devy, Puspita, Rochmah, Alvina Wijayanto, Ahmad, ShevchenKo, Setiawan, Iqbal, Meiriana, Putra, Sara, Kristava, Sarasati, Ayumi Risa, Widya, Ajeng, Haryaningtyas, and Muhammad Putra, Bagus, Kusuma. Next. So for this presentation, we will only be reviewing about the setting, point of view, and theme of the play. Next will be continued by my friends.
Okay, first about settings. The first setting is the home of the Helmer family in a small Norwegian town in the late 19th century. It is the room where most of the drama takes place and where the main characters live. The main rooms in the house are the living room, the couple's bedroom, and the man's office. The bank office where Nora's husband, Torvald Helmer, works. This is the place where Torvald interacts with his co-workers and shows his social characteristics and position which are important in the story.
So next, the settings and the family relation and symbolically portray the roles of the husband and wife. Through the settings, Ibsen record the changes in Nora's nature and her desire to overcome her husband's oppression and become free from him. The setting unveil contraction between old and new values and ideas. Next is Ibsen skillfully uses settings to reflect and unveil the feelings and truth of the main characters. The settings help Ibsen to create a unique atmosphere in the play and symbolically portray inner feelings, emotional experience, and changes in the main characters. Next.
Okay, next is about setting of time. A doll's house time period was the Victorian era, which was a difficult time for all women. The only thing a woman can do is get married, obey her husband, and raise children. On the other hand, men can aim for whatever goals they want in their careers and life is in general. Therefore, the rebellious behaviors owned by female characters at the time was very bad, and the second Christmas time setting supports an atmosphere of mystery and hope of life. In the conversation between Torvald and Nora about last Christmas, there is a description that the family is having some financial problems and Nora has no income of her own, so is dependent on her husband. That is the main reason why the author addresses the important issue of the low status of women in society and the moral issue associated with it. Christmas time in story symbolizes love and family relationship as painful blood sacrifices that last for decades and cause terrible suffering.
Okay, so the next one is the dollhouse point of view. Harry Ibsen's point of view for A Doll's House can be categorized as a limited third-person narrative with near proximity. And there is near proximity and distant proximity. However, with near proximity narration, the reader or viewer has the opportunity to read or observe a central character that making sad remarks. For example, Nora making some sad remarks in both Act 1 and third. For instance, in Act 1, after Thorvald tells Nora that deceitful women poison their homes and their children, leading to immoral human beings like Krogstad, we see Nora pause and whisper to herself, "No, no, it isn't true. It's impossible. It must be impossible." Act 1. Few lines further down, while being pale with terror, Nora asks herself, "Deprave my little children, poison my home? It's not true. It can't possibly be true." Act 1.
Okay, so the producer to play a role is told from the third person point of view. Nora, as protagonist, shares the moves with the audience and her word creators, the setting for the play, and furthermore, the instance of dramatic irony. This creates the sense that audience members mostly concern themselves with Nora's transformation, and that will happen once other characters learn the truth about her. Okay.
Okay, for display theme, there is first the marriage. The main message of a doll's house seems to be that of a true good marriage is a joining of equals. The play centers of the dissolution of a marriage that doesn't meet these standards. At first, the Helmers seems happy, but over the course of the play, the imbalance between them becomes more and more apparent. By the end of the marriage, marriage breaks apart due to a complete lack of understanding. Together in wedlock, Nora and Torvald are incapable of realizing who they are as individuals.
Okay, next is love. There is much talk of love in a dollhouse, but in the end, the Helmers discover that true love never existed between them. Throughout the play, we hear of and see many different forms of love: familiar, maternal, paternal, and fraternal. Romantic love even blossoms for two of the secondary characters. However, for the main characters, the Helmers, true romantic love is elusive.
Okay, for the next one is woman and femininity. Nora of a Dollhouse has often been painted as one of modern drama. First, feminist heroisness. Over the course of the play, she breaks away from the domination of her overbearing husband, Torvald. The playwright, Henrik Ibsen, denied that he had intentionally written a feminist play, preferring to think of it as humanist. Still, though, throughout this drama, there is constant talk of women, their traditional roles, and the price they pay when they break with tradition.
And then the next theme is man and masculinity. The men of a dollhouse are in many ways just as trapped by traditional gender roles as the women, uh, Torvald Helmer being the chief example. The men must be provider. They must bear the burden of supporting by the entire household. They must be the infallible king of their respective castles. By the end of the play, these traditional ideas are truly put to the test. And then next.
Okay, so the next theme is appearance versus reality. Nothing is as it appeared to be in the beginning. We learn that each character's motivation is different from what they initially led on. The title of the play itself, A Doll's House, already hints to the audience that the drama is about pretending and maintaining a well-constructed illusion. The Helmer's house is not a real house inhabited by genuine people, but a dollhouse in which people play act and pretend they are something they are not. And for the example, one of the example, I'm sorry. Okay, one of the example is Nora. Nora seems to be silly at first, but it's later revealed that this is just a facade she puts up. She doesn't want Torvald to find out about the loan she took because she wants to keep the carefully constructed illusion of the strong husband protecting the weak wife, as this makes him happy. Okay, next slide. Okay, the last theme is deception. Another important theme in the play is deception. Nora forges her dying father's signature in order to get a loan. Krogstad helps her do all this and then, later on, uses it to blackmail her. Nora never discloses this to her husband because the society doesn't allow women to borrow loans. She then shares with her friends Miss Lin. Widya, who advises her to tell her husband because a proper marriage is not built through deception, but marriage in true to her word. When Nora's husband learns about this, her marriage inevitably breaks. Kristava also suffers from a bad reputation for he helps Nora forge the documents. Okay, next. Okay, that's all from our presentation. Thank you for your attention.